Life with Paulie. This video is going to be a little bit of a different video today. I wanted to make this video because if you know my channel, if you don't know my channel, first of all, I just got a new apartment. I'm on disability for health issues and because of a heart condition. So I received SSDI because I've been working. I worked for a lot of years, since the age of 16. I'm only 50 now. And I know there are people that work longer than I have or are still working at the age of 97. But I worked a lot of years, so I get SSDI. I don't get SSI. I get a little bit more than what people get on SSI because I worked quite a few years. Today's video, I wanted to talk about the new Medicaid and food stamp rules if it goes into effect. A lot of people are having a hard time with this, and a lot of people are saying that it's terrible what the president is doing because he wants to cut people off Medicaid, he wants to cut people off of food stamps. People are going to die because they ain't going to have health insurance and blah, blah, blah. I hear it all over. I hear it all over YouTube. And a lot of people ain't understanding what he's trying to do. He is trying to cut off wasteful spending. He is trying to make people realize that they should be working. If they could work, they should be working. Now, I want to say right off the bat that the people that get SSI, the people that get SSDI like me, will not be cut off of Medicaid or food stamps. They are disabled. Okay? If you qualify, if you get SSI and you get disability and you qualify for Medicaid or food stamps, they still use your income. Medicaid and food stamps still use your income. Like me, for instance, I get Medicaid. Medicaid income guidelines in New York, it might be different in your state, but in New York, you can make up to $1,644 a month. $1,644 a month. I make less than that. I make about $100 and something less than that, and I receive Medicaid. I will not be cut off. Now, if I got $2,000 in SSDI, then no, I wouldn't qualify for Medicaid. But since I qualify for Medicaid, I do get Medicaid, and I will not be cut off. I don't get food stamps, but I will soon because I just moved into my new apartment. And this apartment is $900 a month here in Albany, New York, which is the state capital of New York. It's $900 a month, and it doesn't include electric or gas. So I have to pay $900 a month plus utilities. Now, if I was paying $900 a month for this apartment and the utilities was included, I will only get about $8 in food stamps. So I wouldn't even apply for them. I haven't applied for them yet, but I probably will in another couple months. I will apply for food stamps. And because I pay $900 a month in rent and have to pay the utilities, I'll get about $215 in food stamps a month to help me out. And that'll help out a great deal because me, myself, that'll take care of me for the whole month. I don't need no more than that. I go shopping cheaply. I find sales. I buy off-brand things. I don't buy steak. I don't buy shrimp. I buy the cheap stuff. Sometimes that's what you got to do. But I see all these people on YouTube, and I know you've probably seen the videos too. There's one lady that's called the Section 8 Queen. She blabs that she gets Section 8 and has all this money. She blabs that she only pays $87 a month in rent. She gets $2,000 in cash assistance. She gets about $4,000 something in food stamps because she's got like 7 kids. This is what the president is trying to do, is trying to make people work that can work. Trying to nip in the bud the people that keep on having kids and kids and kids and knowing they can't afford it. But they continue to have kids because they're getting free assistance, free cash assistance, free food stamps. And that is basically living off of other people and living off the taxpayers' money. And this is what the president is trying to do, is cut all that out. Now, a lot of the things that the president does, I don't agree with. But for cutting people off of food stamps and Medicaid if they don't work, I totally agree with that. When I was younger, okay, I got my first job at the age of 16. I quit school because I was in school and having a hard time. I was in a special ed class for all my childhood until ninth grade. In ninth grade, for some reason, they put me in a mainstream class instead of special ed. So I was flunking. So because I was flunking, I quit school and I got my first job. Then, about a year and a half later, I met a woman and I had my first child. My first child is over 30 now. So this was like 33 years ago. And we did get help with Medicaid. We all got help with Medicaid and we got some help. And something happened to the mother of my children where she couldn't really take care of my daughter. She had an accident and she had to have her big toe amputated while she was home with my daughter. The landlord had this big step that was in the back that was laying up against the wall. And my daughter, at the time, I think she was like 5 or 6. I'm not even sure. She was young. And she went over to this step and she started playing with it and it started to fall. So the mother of my children ran over there to grab it and it fell on her big toe. And it turned black and she had to have it amputated. I was working a ways away. I had to get up at 4 a.m. to take the bus to go to work get to work by 5 a.m. And somehow, because Social Services was involved, CPS got involved, and they said, well, the mother of your children is at home taking care of your child, your daughter. If your daughter does something, goes to the drawer and gets out a pair of scissors or a knife or something like that, the mother of the child can't get up quick enough to get that knife away. Or if there was an accident, she can't get up quick enough. So you have to find daycare for your daughter in order for you to go to work. Or we're going to take your child. CPS told me this. And I said, okay. So I talked to my boss and I worked it out with her to come in later. But it still meant that I had to get my daughter up really early and take her to daycare. I did that for a while. And then my boss said, you can't come in later no more. This is enough. You can't do it no more. And I said, well, what am I supposed to do? And she said, I don't know. And I says, well, if I can't come in later, then that means I got to leave my daughter home with her mom, and her mom is not capable to get up if there's an emergency right now, fast enough. So I had to quit my job, and because I quit my job, Social Services cut me off. They cut me off of Medicaid. They didn't allow me to get anything. They said because I quit my job. My children still got Medicaid, but I didn't because I wasn't working. And this was 33 years ago. So what this bill is, it hasn't passed Senate yet. It already passed the House, but it hasn't passed Senate yet. What this bill is to cut those people off of Medicaid and food stamps that don't want to work. The ones that have children in school for 8 hours a day while their parent sits home and does nothing all day. Those are the people that the president wants to cut off food stamps and Medicaid And I totally agree with that because it's taxpayers paying the money and it's the government paying the money. In all the states, people that get food stamps and Medicaid in all the states is going to have to pick up some of those bills, so they're going to have to listen to the new bill and make sure that they're doing the right thing. Now, to get food stamps, I think you had to be working up until the age of 54. They want to make it so you have to be up until you have to be working until you're 64 in order to get food stamps or Medicaid. Now, I don't know about other states, but here in New York, I get SSDI. I will not lose Medicaid. People on SSI will not lose Medicaid. People that are at home caring for a disabled child. Say you have a disabled child and you're providing 24/7 care for your disabled child. You have a dependent. They call it a dependent. You will not get cut off Medicaid food stamps. They're making it so people that don't want to work, that just want to sit home and do nothing, they want to make it so they don't get that service anymore. And I agree with that. It's taxpayers and the government funding these people's lives. I see many YouTube videos, and you guys probably did too. One lady that said she got $4,000 something in food stamps for her 7 kids. She only pays $87 a month in rent because she gets Section 8, and she gets $2,000 cash assistance. She said on the video, why would I work when I make more money off of government assistance? This is what the president wants to eliminate, and I agree with it. Now, like I said, every state has got a different income guidelines. But if you're getting minimum wage, say here in New York, they want somebody to be working, I think, 80 hours a month, at least 80 hours a month. Even if you worked 80 hours at minimum wage here in New York, you would still qualify for food stamps and you would qualify for Medicaid. And that's what a lot of people ain't understanding. They think they're just going to lose Medicaid and food stamps. That's not true. Um, the people that are older, in nursing homes, okay, for instance, the people in nursing homes and Medicaid pays for the nursing home, they're not going to lose their Medicaid, okay, because they're old. It's medically necessary. Those are the types of people that ain't going to lose their Medicaid. Or someone that's on SSI or SSDI like me aren't going to lose Medicaid. Now, the bill also says that if you're not working, they want you to volunteer somewhere or you have to be going to school. If you're going to say you're going to get your GED, they will allow that. If you're going to schooling for something, they will allow that. You won't get cut off Medicaid. You won't get cut off of assistance if you're doing something. They don't want people sitting home all day playing video games or whatever and doing nothing. And I agree with that. 33 years ago, when I was getting help, and my children were getting help, because of course 33 years ago I was only making $7.40 an hour, I think it was. That was minimum wage way back then, $7.40 an hour, $8 an hour. I was getting help because I quit my job so CPS wouldn't take my child away. They took my services away, and that was 33 years ago. I had to be working. a lot of states and a lot of cities, like here in Albany, New York, I know there's some people that haven't worked in years and get food stamps and Medicaid. They haven't worked in years, and they somehow they found the way around the system. Because when I lived in Rome, before I moved down to Albany, New York, I used to get food stamps out there, and I used to get Medicaid out there. I had to be doing something. They said you either have to work, or you have to be on SSI, or you have to be on SSDI, or you have to be applying for SSI. Now, if you're applying for SSI or SSDI, that is also different. They will help you while you're applying for SSI or SSDI, but you might have to pay it back, because I did. When I first got my disability, I lived in Rome, New York. When I first got my disability, I fought for my disability for almost 3 years, and I was on welfare. I got food stamps, and I got a little bit of rental assistance, about $200 a month. They made me sign a paper. This was years ago, 4 years ago. They made me sign a paper saying once I got my SSI, I would pay them back. So they helped me while I was fighting for my SSDI, my disability, while I was going through it. They helped me, but I had to pay them back. When I got my back pay for SSDI, they took $6,000 back. I paid them back. This is what the president is trying to do. He's not trying to cut people off, to kill people off, or make them die. He's not cutting people off, children off. Children under the age of, I think it's 18, is a totally different story. If you have a child, if you're on, say you got Medicaid and food stamps, and you have a child that's under the age of 18 and you're a parent, say you're a parent right now, you get food stamps, Medicaid, your child gets food stamps or Medicaid, they won't cut that child off, but they will cut the adult off for not working or not doing something. They don't want you just to be sitting home for 8 hours a day and not doing anything. They want people working, which I agree with. And, there's a lot of people out there mad about this, and I'm not mad about it. Not just because I'm not getting cut off from it, but I think it's just right. I had to pay back, when I got help, I had to pay $6,000 out of my back pay from SSDI. When I was younger, I got cut off because I quit my job. But I quit my job for a good reason. After about a month, I ended up getting another job and working again and taking care of my family. But for about a month, I got cut off because I quit my job because they were going to take my child away. Excuse me. So, all these news stories and everything, I don't know why they don't say this on their news stories. They put out there, well, people are afraid they're going to die. Nursing homes are going to be closing down. It's not for those people. It's not for those people. The people that are in nursing homes, Medicaid pays for that. Medicaid or Medicare, whatever the case may be, they pay for that. That's a needed assistance. He's talking about the people that are sitting home on the couch playing video games, or gallivanting around and spending all their cash assistance money on stupid things. So I think it is a good bill, and I think it should be passed. Now, like I said, I'm not going to agree with everything the president is doing. A lot of things I don't agree with, but those two things I do agree with. I think if you're able to work and you can work, you should be working and taking care of your children. Like I said, a lot of states, even if you're working 80 hours a month, you're still going to qualify for food stamps. You're still going to qualify for Medicaid. Maybe not as much, like the lady that gets $4,000 a month in food stamps for 7 kids. If she's working, she probably won't get $4,000 a month anymore in food stamps. But she should be working. If her children are in school, then she shouldn't be sitting home 8 hours a day. And depending on the taxpayers and other people to take care of her. Now, some people might be hating on me and saying, well, you get disability, taxpayers pay for that. You're going to get help with food stamps, taxpayers pay for that. You get help with Medicaid, taxpayers pay for that. Yeah, but when you work, you pay into SSI, you pay into disability in case something happens to you or a health condition comes up and you can't work no more. And I did that since the age of 16. Was it my fault that I had a heart attack at the age of 47? No. It wasn't my fault. I had health issues. Up until the age of 47, I didn't even have Medicaid or Medicare. That's why I had the heart attack. Because I had diabetes type 2, I had high blood pressure, and I didn't have the money or Medicaid or Medicare to go to the doctors. That's why I had the heart attack. Now I have it, so I do go to the doctors. I have Medicare and I have Medicaid. Medicare pays 80% of my bill, and then Medicaid picks up the rest. And that also, Medicare, you pay in the Medicare when you're working throughout the years. And I paid all that. So, for people out there to down people on disability or SSI, sometimes it's necessary. Okay? There's a lot of things that I can't do. So I just wanted to bring this video to everybody because I see the videos all over. I see the news stories all over. People getting mad. People saying people are going to die, this and that. But it's not for the older people. It's not for people that get SSI. Not for people that get SSDI. It's for those people that just don't want to work and want to use the system. And I totally agree with what he's doing, and I think it should pass the Senate. They are spending millions and billions, probably trillions of dollars on people that just want to stay home, do nothing, and soak up all people's tax money. Now, hey, I think if you can work, you should work, and you should be trying to take care of your family. Especially if you're having child after child. If you have one child and you know you can't afford another child, why have another one? The lady on YouTube, 7 children. Why? If you know you can't take care of them. Me, myself, like I said, I quit school at 16. I got a job. I knew I had to work. Because I had a child on the way, I knew I had to work. And I did. I worked and I took care of my daughters. And even the mother of my children, I took care of her. I didn't get help with WIC. We didn't get food stamps. We got Medicaid and we got Section 8. At one time we did. But other than that, we didn't get WIC. I bought all the formula myself, all their diapers. I took care of them. Did I give them college money? No, because I didn't have it. But I still worked and supported them. even when, even when me and my mom, the mother of my children split up, I still took care of them because I paid support. I always made sure I paid my support. Yes, there was a time that I got backed up. They took the back pay out of my SSDI for support too. So, keep that in mind, guys. You know, if you're sitting at home doing nothing, and you're on Medicaid, and you're on food stamps, and they do pass this bill, you better be ready. You better be ready to go look for a job. Because you're going to have to be doing something as soon as they pass this bill. I think if they pass the bill, they're going to make it so it takes effect December of 2026. So, if you're sitting home and not doing nothing, I would suggest looking for a job now. Or wait until they pass the bill and then look for a job then. But you're only going to have until December of 2026 to find one if they pass this bill. After December of 2026, if you're not working and you're below the age of 64, you're going to get cut off. So keep that in mind. But for people on disability, SSI, stop worrying. You're not going to get cut off. Anyways, guys, much love to all. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and leave your comments on this video. See you in my next one. Much love to all.